Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the Art Review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of Roger Ibanez. Now we're looking at the character design references website. I do recommend this site. It's so cool because they do like compilations of people's artwork. It's basically like an art review, and they do give some basic information here, like what medium they're using, if they have a website, their name, where they're located, right? If they have a Patreon, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so I will link this page in the description below, and you can click their website over here, which is linked. And yeah, just looking at their work, if we just zoom in, I guess they do a lot of it like traditionally, and then they fix things up. Maybe they add like the whole grayscale thing once they're in the once they bring it to digital. But I do like their strokes, whether it's the environment, the foliage, the architecture, and obviously the figures. I do like the forms. It's so like fluid and very brushy. Like there's almost like a fade out effect. Oh, they do use some cross hatching, but that's not the most common one, or it's not as apparent as their more brushy sort of strokes. Right? For example, for this grayscale part, let me just see if I can do this. Yeah, it's better if I zoom in. Do you see this part right here? Those splatter effects. I think that was done digitally, I would assume. But it looks very natural, and I would not be surprised if the vast majority of it was done traditionally. I do like the effect here of the guy. He's playing a trumpet, right? But the white part around, like it's so painted, like he's glowing or something, and this sort of signifying maybe the influence or the power of his music. Pretty cool. But if you look at the inks, the way it's the brushwork, for example, if you look at the shoes and the shadow coming from his like leg, look at how it's not complete all the way. Like there is some play with like negative spaces. Like it's not always about line work. If you look at the shoulders, it's not complete. There are some parts that are kind of missing. You can just sort of fill in the gaps for yourself. I mean, just look at the curtains here, even the woman in the back, kind of in the shadows. The way it's rendered, I see a lot of like oval, is that a word? Or oblong, kind of like blobs being used. And I can see some like fade out effect. You know how you sketch something with a pocket brush and then you use your like hand to sort of fade the edge out? I do see that sometimes. I don't think they're using their hand. I think they're just using the pressure from their like lightening the pressure as they sort of leave the pen from the paper. But yeah, there is a lot of like this brushwork consistency, which I do like. And basically you just see more, I guess, of the bristles, which is really fascinating. I like how they were able to do like coarse shadows. Look at the center of the dress over here, right? On the sides, it does get darker. You can see the brush strokes. It's pretty much pure black, but in between, you do see that sort of like the brush has been sort of like dragged very lightly. That's kind of the effect. So that's pretty cool. So and because of that, they do like you do get some texture because of that. But again, I don't really know his full process here. But yeah, I just like the consistency too. Like it looks like this guy already has a process, and it's very dependable. I mean, well, first of all, look at oh la la, right? Oh shit, look at that. And I do like how the black is not pure black. Like you can see the multiple strokes to fill in those black fill-ins. Like you do get some texture from that, and it's kind of sad if you like totally remove it. If let's say you scan something and you amp up the contrast, I think it's sad. It takes away like the story in a way of adding in those strokes, and you do get some nice texture from that. The forms too of their figures is so like again dynamic, fluid. Even the way the shadow was done for this like the leg. Look at this leg, her leg, right? It's so darker. It's pretty dark in like the right hand side. And as you go left, it gets lighter. So I do see like a good variety of different sort of line strokes or hatching styles. Some are more brushy, like they go along with the form. If you look at like the leaves in the back, it's just negative space. My point is it's like white. So there's no like drawing within those white things. And in a way, it does help the legs of this woman and the other characters pop out because if you overdo like the hatching, Like you don't know where to focus. Reminds me a little bit of the work of Matteo Mastre something. Like the guy who did the framed ink book. They're really into this sort of like black and white drawing as well, like composition stuff. If you're struggling with, oh my god, Jesus, oh, right, and it's so clean too. Clean in that like it doesn't look like there's mistakes. Like everything seems so intentional. So here we have. First of all, look at the brushwork. Damn, you will notice though, like in the figures, they do leave like a decent amount of space just as white. Like there's no hatching, so they're very sparse when it comes to like adding in the blacks for the figures. Like you see way more shading for say the clothing and stuff like that, but for the skin they're very minimal. It's giving me some who's the guy's name, John Buscema or something, one of the OGs or the classic like comic artists, because they like use or he likes using a brush to render, and it does end up looking like this where it's a bit more. It's not very hatchy, where you have so many lines. It's like a big brush with this sort of fade out effect. Reminds me of some of the brush sketches or brush pen sketches of Jay Lee as well. I think I did an art review of his work. Look at the kawaii, kawaii. Oh, naughty. Always cool, always cool. Oh, this one pretty cool. Now for the grayscale part, I think they did that in like digitally. And you can always make adjustments, right? But it's just there's like look at how they were able to illustrate a night scene. Oh, it's so over. Right? Ooh. And again, look at the foliage in the background. Like they're showing how there's no hatching for the leaves, right? For the foliage. But the reason why it's white, number one, it does help make the character pop out even more. But also you're seeing the parts of the leaves where it's being lit by the light from below, from the town lights. So it's a great way to simplify that. And even the sky, the way the strokes are done, I'm not sure how they do it, but it's worth it. Look at, so they're kind of in a hall or in an alleyway. And even the architecture looks pretty dynamic. Like you do see some curvature here and there. Like it's not a totally like mechanical thing. Reminds me a bit of the line work of Greg Tocchini. Let me just show you. I did an art review of the work way back. Let me just scroll up here. And I just wanted to look at their work again. I really love their Low series, LOW. It's like a comic of like they did the illustrations for that thing. I'm not sure if they do the colors as well, but I used to say the guy was like from Italy because the name sounds Italian, but apparently they're based in Brazil. So, but yeah, I just like the organic sort of forms, right? If you look at the line work for this guy, it just reminds me of, yeah. Oh my. So we're kind of in a darker part, a more naughtier part of the city, perhaps. Ooh. So we're seeing the characters here in the foreground. They're being lit from the front. So you're seeing their backs in shadow for the most part. Like they're being backlit. It's backlit lighting, but it's the front of their bodies that's being backlit, right? Oh my god, this guy likes to play around. Oh, maybe he was rejected because I do see some flowers there, so maybe things did not go the way he planned, perhaps. So now he has to resort to women. But look at the brushwork. It reminds me of when it comes to thickness, my input will. They do like him thick, so there you go. But yeah, it's just so perfectly balanced, right? Yes, the composition is great, but in terms of like the way the lighting is done, the way they're able to illustrate values, they don't lead a lot with like line work. Like the lighting is part of the storytelling. Look at, oh my goodness gracious. Oh, the way it's rendered, it really does remind me of like classic, like think like old school comic book art where they use a lot of like not dip pens but brushes to do this kind of shading. Again, John Buscema or Buscema. But yeah. Look at how simplified the hair was rendered for this woman superhero assassin. right? Even the clothes are so simplified. Like they just know how to stop or when to stop, when to add details, when to not. Even the way the leg was done, the shadows of the leg, wow, Christ. Yeah, I'm really interested to know like what exactly is their process. Oh my god. Yeah, even again, look at the line weight too. It's very like it goes from thin to thick. Like it really looks like they were using a brush pen for this one or some kind of brush, like a natural brush. It really works well with this kind of organic sort of forms. So when you're drawing people, it just looks better, right? But again, if you look at the body, how much of it is hatched? Most of the lines are in the contours of the body, and maybe some shading for like the clothing here and there, for the guy's muscles, and definitely the hair. But everywhere else in the skin, it's like left empty. So perhaps I'm not sure if someone is gonna color these sorts of things, or who knows. But even without color, it already sort of works. Oh my god! Wait, why is it not zooming in? Let me just close this. There you go. Look at that. My god. I really the way the foliage is done in the background. It reminds me a lot of like architectural renderings. Like they just know how to simplify these sorts of things to save time, right? But they all feel drawn in. Jesus, it feels so traditional. Maybe it is like 99%. And they just sort of like maybe the only digital thing here is like scanning the drawings, but so the guy's kind of going over this woman, pinning her down a little bit, right? And she's kind of nonchalant about it, but she's even right here. She's so fucking reminds me of who's that actress again? Um, Audrey Hepburn, Hepburn something. Look at the face. Kind of reminds me of her. Again, look at the skin. How many lines do you see? It's so like empty. Look at those legs too. Oh my god. Fuck. Um yeah. So it looks like so we do have some superhero stuff. Let me just what's going on here? We have some superhero stuff here, I guess. Is it a superhero? I don't know. This one does have a bit of watercolor. I'm not sure if this was done traditionally. Perhaps it was. So we do have so oftentimes their black and white inks are paired up with like either a flat grayscale, and sometimes that grayscale is done with watercolors, I guess. Look at the splatter effect here. Very interesting. Again, storytelling with lighting here. Look at this. The hair looks great too, like the way they render the hair. Like it's so consistent. So it's raining outside, it looks like. Is it raining outside? It looks like it. So they're dancing, right? Look at that. Oh, this one does have some grayscale for the plant, some books. Obviously for her as well, like it's the shadow part here, but it's very minimal. Look at it's so over. Damn. So yeah, I guess that's it for this art review of Roger Ibanez. If you wanna do some inks, if you're into narrative art, especially if you're into like lighting, composition, I think Roger. Oh, whoa, my goodness, what's going on here? Oh shit! Look at how dynamic and full this entire page is. Like it's so rich with inks, different kind. Oh, I do see some hatching for the architecture. It really reminds me of like architectural drawings, Look at that. And then you have some like shots, scenes of their companionship. Ooh la la. Oh my god, there it is. That's it. I'm not sure if they do the colors for these ones, but yeah, even without the colors, they're already good. And I guess you don't even have to do much for the colors because the inks already do much of the heavy lifting. And adding colors just add a bit of, it helps add with like the mood because certain colors give you, a certain kind of atmosphere. For example, this one, yeah, black and white could work and it's enough, but it just gives you a little bit of something else, right? It sets like the tone, the mood, the emotion, and the colors can do that. Look at that. Although for for the kind of coloring that fits their, or this one's more painterly, that fits their style, it's a bit more muted, very vintage looking colors, right? Oh my gosh. So she's being possessed. Maybe she's like, Maybe she has powers, but she's like dream. Oh, look at the human figure here. Oh my. Oh. Even those legs, they look so like toned and muscular, and those feet, obviously. Oh my god. And yeah, the forms just look great here. And I highly recommend the work. So check them out. I will link this page in the description below. And hopefully you enjoy the work because I definitely know I do. So, yep, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.